Simple Tales presents The Rainbow Serpent from Aboriginal Australian legend. Long ago, before rivers carved their paths through the land, and before trees stretched their branches toward the sky, the world lay quiet and still. The earth was flat, the valleys were empty, the mountains had not yet risen. Many living creatures slept beneath the ground, waiting for their time to awaken. For ages, nothing changed. Then, deep beneath the earth, a great being stirred. It was the Rainbow Serpent. The mighty serpent had slept since the beginning of time. Now it awoke. Slowly it emerged from beneath the earth and began to move across the silent land. As it travelled, its enormous body pressed into the ground. Where it slivered, deep channels formed. These became rivers. Where it turned and coiled, valleys and hills appeared. Where it pushed upward, mountains rose toward the sky. The empty world began to change. The Rainbow Serpent continued its journey. It travelled across vast plains and through hidden places where no creature had yet walked. As it moved, water filled the channels it had created. Rivers began to flow. Lakes appeared. The dry land awakened. Soon, the creatures sleeping beneath the earth began to emerge. Kangaroos leapt across the plains. Birds filled the air. Lizards crawled among the rocks. Fish swam through the new rivers. Life spread throughout the world. The Rainbow Serpent watched over them. For a time, all was well. The creatures explored their new home and learned where to find food, shelter, and water.
But not all respected the land they had been given. Some became careless. Others became selfish. They quarrelled with one another. They wasted what had been provided. And they ignored the laws that kept the world in balance. The Rainbow Serpent saw this and grew troubled. The rivers, mountains, and valleys had not been created for greed or conflict. They had been created so all living things could thrive together. The serpent travelled among the creatures and taught them how to live. It showed them where water should be protected. It showed them how to respect the land. It taught them that every living thing had a place within the world. Some listened, others did not. Those who listened learned to live in harmony with the earth. They cared for the rivers. They respected the animals. They remembered the lessons of the Rainbow Serpent. The land prospered around them. But those who ignored the serpent's teachings often found themselves struggling. The world itself seemed to resist those who took more than they needed. Over time, the creatures came to understand that the rivers, mountains, and valleys were more than features of the landscape. They were reminders of the Rainbow Serpent's journey. Every winding river marked its path. Every valley carried its memory. Every waterhole
reflected its presence. And so, generation after generation passed down the story. Parents shared it with their children. Elders shared it with their communities. The tale reminded people that the land was not merely something to be used, it was something to be respected.
Even today, when people look upon winding rivers and ancient landscapes, many remember the story of the Rainbow Serpent. They remember the great being who shaped the world and taught its first lessons. The world flourishes when people live in balance with the land that sustains them. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and share Simple Tales. There are many more legends waiting to be told.